My concept of the screaming narrative is the personal story that one projects out into life. It's what can be seen and derived from watching and observing somebody. It's their body behaviors, their body communications, how they regard themselves, the choices of clothing, the style of clothing. All these things start to tell a story. And these stories are self-projected. The individual's choosing these sort of elements because this idea of self-identity is self-created. They themselves have created a manner in which they are living to project themselves, and it is that story. In most cases, when I talk about interpersonal relationships, I talk about and I warn men about a woman's screaming narrative. And in many instances, a woman who projects herself as a wild and crazy woman is doing this intentionally. She's setting things up to develop a life and life expectations of you for her. And you can't expect a woman who's going wild and crazy and living sort of that life to all of a sudden be in a homebody and a quality relationship. And so men typically are responding to women based on attraction triggers. They're not watching the story she's projecting. Is this an individual for a viable, healthy relationship? In most cases, she's not a likely candidate. Don't be investing your life, your energy, and resources into a low probability payout situation. It's strictly foolish. Men don't do that. They don't stop and ask themselves these questions. And that's when I talk about the screaming narrative. What's the personal story that this individual is projecting? We don't even listen to the one that's screaming in the room, let alone the subtle one. And when you get into an interpersonal, intimate relationship, you'll actually get to know the subtle stories, but often we even ignore the screaming.